Are you struggling in your love life? Are you still searching for that one true soulmate? It seems like almost everyone dreams of a sweet, fulfilling romance, a blissful marriage. Yet, in reality, so many of us stumble time and time again, facing heartbreak and pain. The path to understanding love, to truly learning how to love, is paved with lessons that forge us, help us grow. Alongside learning from our own romantic experiences and observing the lives of others, we can also enrich our wisdom about love through timeless literary classics. There's one novel, often hailed as an encyclopedia of love, a book the New York Times called the most beautiful love story in human history. It's the first novel by the legendary Gabriel García Márquez, written right after the work that earned him the Nobel Prize, and it was the one he himself was most satisfied with. That book is Love in the Time of Cholera. This novel tells a story of a love that spans over half a century, a journey of passion, waiting, and ultimate reunion. But beneath this grand romance lies a stark portrayal of life's realities, making us ponder what truly makes love last. Today, we're diving deep into its powerful message, a message that suggests, perhaps, just perhaps, if you're not good enough, no amount of love can save your future. Love in the Time of Cholera unfolds the epic love story of Florentino Ariza, a poor telegraph clerk, and Fermina Daza, a beautiful young woman from a wealthy family. Their budding romance, ignited by stolen glances and passionate letters, is quickly thwarted by the vast differences in their social standing and financial realities. Fermina's father, a pragmatic merchant, sees his daughter as a ticket to a higher social stratum and views Florentino as an obstacle. He forcibly separates them, sending Fermina away. Yet Florentino's love, or perhaps obsession, knows no bounds. He relentlessly pursues her through letters, no matter where she goes. Eventually, worn down, her father allows Fermina to decide her own marital fate. However, when Fermina finally meets Florentino again after a long separation, the image of her romantic hero shatters. She sees him not as a charming prince, but a poor, gaunt, almost pathetic figure. The love she thought was an all-consuming fire is revealed to be, in her eyes, a mere illusion. She decisively breaks off their engagement. This initial heartbreak sets the stage for the novel's central theme. If you're not good enough, loving deeply might not be enough to secure a future together. Florentino Ariza, the novel's protagonist, is the illegitimate son of a wealthy and powerful shipping company founder. However, he's never publicly acknowledged, and all support from his father is clandestine. When his father suddenly dies, Florentino's financial lifeline is severed. He's forced to drop out of school and earn a living working at the telegraph office. It's during this time, while sending a telegram, that he first lays eyes on Fermina Daza. Her almond-shaped eyes glance at him, and his heart skips a beat. To capture her attention, he takes to sitting on a park bench near her home every morning, pretending to read poetry, all the while composing and sending her a barrage of love letters, adorned with pressed flowers and tiny verses. He even serenades her from afar with his violin late at night. Gradually, Fermina is won over by his persistent ardor, and their relationship blossoms, leading Florentino to propose. But reality, as it often does, intervenes harshly. Fermina, caught in this whirlwind romance while still a student, faces disciplinary action and is expelled from school. Her father, furious, confronts Florentino, ordering him to stay away from his daughter. In the eyes of this newly wealthy, uneducated merchant, Fermina is a prized asset, a key to a better future. Florentino, the unacknowledged, impoverished son, is nothing but a nuisance, a thorn in his side. So, Fermina's father attempts to use distance to break the young lovers apart, taking Fermina far from their hometown. But Florentino's determination is unwavering. His love letters find her wherever she goes. Seeing the futility of separating them by force, her father eventually relents, granting Fermina the right to choose her own husband. However, after this prolonged separation, when Fermina sees Florentino again, her perception has drastically changed. The romanticized image she held in her heart crumbles. She sees him as he is, poor, disheveled, almost like a vagrant, a stark contrast to the white knight of her youthful dreams. She suddenly realizes that the love she felt so intensely was perhaps more an obsession, an illusion, than a sustainable reality, and so she resolutely ends their relationship. There's a poignant line in the book that resonates here. The weak can never enter the kingdom of love, for it is a harsh and stingy kingdom, and women give themselves only to men of resolute spirit, who provide them with the security they need to face life. While the notion of a thatched hut and 2 golden hearts sounds romantic, the harsh realities of life can eventually wear down even the purest love if there isn't a foundation of strength and capability. Florentino, though intelligent and talented, was at that point pinned down by his circumstances, stuck at the bottom of the social ladder. His lack of personal development over the years, despite his unwavering devotion, proved fatal to their young love. This scenario is all too common. When you like someone, you might be tempted to throw all caution to the wind, to bend over backwards to win their affection, like a moth drawn to a flame. But when your efforts are unreciprocated, disappointment and a sense of injustice can be overwhelming. Why is it so unfair, you might cry? I loved them so sincerely, so deeply. But the hard truth is, the problem might lie within yourself. If you lack certain essential qualities, if you're not good enough in a holistic sense, then no matter how intensely you love, that love alone cannot build a stable future for 2 people. Behind the curtain of romance, the everyday necessities and practicalities of life are always present, and these are the realities that anyone rushing into love or marriage must eventually confront. Love, in many ways, is a marathon. After her breakup with Florentino, Fermina Daza falls gravely ill, suffering from vomiting and diarrhea. Her father, fearing she has contracted cholera, summons Dr. Juvenal Urbino to examine her. The moment Dr. Urbino sees Fermina, he is captivated by her beauty. This fleeting moment doesn't escape her father's notice, and a plan begins to form in his mind. Dr. Urbino is a man of noble lineage, a highly skilled physician, and a respected figure in the community due to his involvement in public welfare. Marrying his daughter to such a man would not only secure her financial future, but also provide her with a strong social standing. So, the father actively facilitates a courtship between the doctor and Fermina. After spending time with Dr. Urbino, Fermina finds him to be, if not particularly romantic, then certainly a man of good means who cares for her. She concludes he is someone she can entrust her life to, and so she accepts his proposal. There's a saying that marriage is often an exchange, where each party gets what they need. Fermina's beauty and Dr. Urbino's social magnetism perfectly illustrate this. Wherever they went, Fermina's striking appearance made Dr. Urbino the center of envious attention. For Fermina, she was no longer just the daughter of a mule trader. She became the wife of the esteemed Dr. Urbino, enjoying wealth, status, and social respect. However, as with all things, beauty is not eternal. The vibrant bloom of youth eventually fades, replaced by the wrinkles and weariness of age. Her once slender figure loses its youthful grace. The initial balance in their exchange begins to tilt. As Fermina ages and her physical allure diminishes, she becomes more of a housewife, living in her husband's shadow, overwhelmed by endless domestic chores. Meanwhile, Dr. Urbino's fame and reputation continue to grow. His horizons expand, and he gradually loses interest in Fermina's aging face, even engaging in extramarital affairs with younger women. Although he eventually returns to his family, the damage is done. Their marriage becomes fraught with conflict, constant bickering over trivial matters. Fermina spends the latter part of her life in this heavy, unfulfilling atmosphere. A line from the novel Jane Eyre comes to mind. Love is a game, and you must always maintain equality and equal footing with your partner to love each other for a long time. If the other person is too strong, it will be tiring, and if the other person is too weak, it will be boring. Indeed, love is like a marathon. When two people first fall in love or marry, they start at the same line. But whether they can reach the finish line together depends on the comprehensive capabilities of each individual. If both partners operate on the same frequency and achieve a state of balance, life can be harmonious. But if one partner isn't strong enough, while the other continues to grow and evolve, the gap between them will widen. Without sufficient tolerance and love, the stronger partner may consciously or unconsciously take control, while the weaker one becomes passive, merely accepting their lot in life. In the book How to Make Anyone Fall in Love with You, a renowned expert on interpersonal communication and romantic relationships, a book I've previously discussed in another video, highlights a crucial factor for maintaining love: the principle of equal value. It might seem cynical to apply market-like principles to something as sacred as love, but research suggests that the happiest relationships are often those where a sense of balance is achieved. The author lists 6 key factors people often consciously or unconsciously use to choose partners and maintain relationships: appearance, assets, status, knowledge, social grace, and character or integrity. You can try scoring yourself and your partner on a scale of 1 to 10 for each of these 6 factors. Are your scores roughly equivalent? Even if they're not identical in every category, do your differing strengths and weaknesses complement each other, creating a kind of overall equilibrium? Remember, to run the race together to the finish line, both runners need comparable stamina and strength. Florentino took meticulous care of his health, maintaining his energy and a strong physique even in old age. Professionally, he excelled, demonstrating admirable competence, and eventually, through his diligence and talent, rose to become the president of the shipping company. Wealthy, powerful, and still vigorous, Florentino finally reached the pivotal moment he had waited for decades. Dr. Urbino passed away. On the very first day of Fermina's widowhood, before her tears of grief had even dried, Florentino appeared. He confessed the love he had harbored for nearly half a century. Initially, Fermina, shocked and angered by his timing, threw him out. But Florentino was undeterred. He picked up his pen once more, writing her a series of poignant, comforting letters. For Fermina, these letters were like a balm. Gradually, she shed the immediate grief of widowhood and, heeding a friend's advice, decided to embark on a river cruise aboard one of Florentino's company ships. During this journey, Florentino orchestrated a dreamlike, secluded world for Fermina. Amidst the vastness of the river, sky, and clouds, he created an idyllic, almost surreal romance, far removed from the ordinary world. This elderly couple, having lost half a lifetime, finally came together, rekindling the passion of their youth. One might ask, was Fermina truly moved by love or by circumstance? If Florentino had reappeared not as the successful, capable man he had become, but as a poor, frail old man, Would the outcome have been the same? The answer is almost certainly no. In reality, Fermina would likely never have chosen the weak, struggling Florentino of their youth again. This is the pragmatism of life. She decided to board that ship with him because, by then, she knew the depth of his enduring affection, and, crucially, his current strength and status provided her with a sense of security. Plant a sycamore tree, and a phoenix may come to nest. If flowers bloom in abundance, butterflies and bees will naturally be drawn. When you haven't yet obtained what you truly desire, the first step is to look inward. Instead of succumbing to despair or pessimism, it's better to cultivate inner peace, to temper and refine yourself through consistent effort and self-improvement. When you do this, you won't need to desperately cling to anyone or try too hard to please. You'll be like a flower in full bloom, exuding a natural fragrance that attracts those who appreciate you. Florentino's love, as portrayed by García Márquez, is like the cholera epidemic that ravaged their time. It's contagious, it can be deadly, and it can also lead to a kind of rebirth. For Florentino, his half-century pursuit of Fermina was like an obsession he couldn't let go of. In truth, what he was so fixated on was perhaps healing the wound of his initial rejection. Only by proving his worth and winning Fermina back could he soothe the pain in his heart and truly step out of the shadow of that early failure, reclaiming his long-lost self-esteem. Florentino's story mirrors the experiences of many of us, loving someone with all our might, pursuing them relentlessly, yet feeling small and insignificant, like dust, ultimately facing rejection. You might exhaust your youth and passion for someone who doesn't reciprocate your feelings. However, the fundamental issue often lies within ourselves. An author once said, "Of all the responsibilities in the world, the most fundamental is to become yourself, to live as an individual with a unique personality and value." Don't chase a horse if you're not strong enough to ride it. Instead, use the time you would have spent chasing to cultivate your own pasture. When spring arrives and the flowers bloom, the horse may be drawn to you. On the scales of love, don't let your undeveloped personality, abilities, or circumstances tip the balance against you. The prerequisite for true love is first to become an excellent version of yourself. Only by constantly pushing yourself to grow, to shine, to illuminate your own path can you hope to ignite the love of your life. The better you become, the more likely the person you admire will naturally gravitate towards you. The benevolent see benevolence. The wise see wisdom. The same issue can be viewed differently by different people. The same book can yield unique insights for each reader. Today's video represents my personal understanding and feelings after reading Love in the Time of Cholera, which I wanted to share with all of you for consideration and discussion. If we're talking purely about the portrayal of love in this book, personally, I didn't particularly like Dr. Urbino because of his infidelity. I also had mixed feelings about Florentino. While he maintained his love for Fermina for 51 years, he also had affairs with 622 other women. And I wasn't entirely fond of Fermina either, because ultimately, it seems she didn't truly love her husband, nor did she for a long time truly love Florentino. She simply chose the person she felt was most suitable for her at a particular stage in her life. For me, this book isn't just about romantic love. It's a profound work that helps us learn from characters depicted with stark, lifelike realism. It helps us understand how to love, how to cultivate and build our own happiness, both before and during a relationship. Regardless of anything else, love yourself first. Learn to become a better version of yourself. Because when you change, when you become more outstanding, you will have enough compassion and know how to truly love. You will offer an unconditional love, not one that turns affection into a transaction. What we need to strive for is achieving and maintaining balance in love. Balance is the best state for a lasting, healthy relationship. I really like this saying, learn to be a person first. If you can't offer shelter from the sun and rain to others, no one will hold you high above their head. Remember, as long as you become better, other things will gradually fall into place. If you want to love others, learn to fill yourself up first. The way you love yourself teaches others how to love you. My hope is that all of us can be sincere individuals, using our own excellence to experience a truly beautiful and meaningful love in this life. Thank you so much for listening. If you found this video helpful or thought-provoking, please share it with those who might need to hear its message. Support me with a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell to catch all the latest videos. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.